Hi, this is Maddie. I'm back with another video, and this time I'm going to talk about the types of technology you can use at university. And this is the type of technology I'm going to break down in two parts. But this is the type of technology you can use in the lectures to help that, and also kind of outside of university. First type of technology that I kind of used in university that really helped me was like the Roger mic pen. This was a lifesaver for me. Like, this is probably the one thing I really used that really helped me through everything. And this is something I would give to professor at the beginning of lecture, and is also something that would help me kind of in the group discussions, something called tutorials, where there's kind of a class discussion, like the individual would speak, and I would give this to professor, and then they would give this to the students, and they would pass this around, and they would speak individually into this. So that was kind of one way how it would make it a little bit more accessible for me, and that was one type of technology that I used. At first I used the Roger Select, but I found the mic pen was a bit easier for the students to use, and also with the Roger Select it was just the sizes of the classes, like because this you'd put on the table, but everyone kind of has their laptops out, and it's just, it would block the sound, or sometimes these classes have like 30 kids and the sound would be blocked, or the way how the table's figured out, there's just no way for you to put the microphone down, whereas this is something I could just pass around and the kids know how to hold a microphone. Something else that I used in university was, surprisingly, was my Compilot, because there's many times where I would need to listen to something, and even though there's adapters you can plug this into, I lost them. So I would use the aux cord for if I had to do a listening project for my comp sci class, or for Spanish if I needed to listen to it but I can't quite hear it. So I went early and I used my Compilot to plug that into the computer straight to the aux cord, so I listened to it with my Compilot. Another type of technology I used wasn't necessarily specifically for my hearing aids, was CART, or kind of lifetime closed captioning. So this way I have this on like a little lanyard like this, and I would give this to my professor, and there was another little microphone I would give the professor, and I would go give that, and then there'd be lifetime closed captioning on my laptop screen, so then I can kind of follow along the lecture. If I missed something, I would scroll up and see what I missed when I'm taking my notes, and I found that was a useful technology that I could use in university. Another type of technology, or at least maybe not technology but accommodation, that I used at first but didn't work for me but could work for others, was note takers. So then that's someone else in your class taking notes for you. There's a lot of other alternatives out there, so I would recommend to go chat with your student services of disabilities, and especially chat with the professors early, go to the office hours, and especially for something like group assignments and tutorials, because office hours are your friends. Go talk with your professors, and maybe you need to have alternative assignments, but office are your friends. Go talk with your professors. The earlier you arrange for things, the better you are. The next part is technology they kind of use outside of university, because there's some really cool things of technology that I used outside of my university, such as like in my res, or now that I've been in second year kind of in my home, kind of be safe but also kind of so I can still be more involved. The first thing was I actually had a doorbell. I don't have it with me, but I had a doorbell that I put on my door but also kind of flashed. You can kind of get these at kind of like a Home Depot or kind of a hardware store. And I put a little command strip, I put it on the outside of my res, so then, because I might not hear the knocking if someone were to knock on my door, and I didn't want to miss that if I was there, so I got a little command strip, put it in the back of this little doorbell, and so then if someone were to ring the doorbell, there's another separate part that was my room, and it would flash, so then I would know that someone was at my door. And even though it was in the res, so then people who knew me, they knew that they could just ring the doorbell, know to answer the door, and I found that was a really helpful piece of technology I could use outside of in the residence. Another piece of helpful technology would be, if you still rely on the mom system or the dad system to wake you up, turn on the lights, shake you to get you awake for university, is to get an alarm that has a vibrator or a shaker, because it'll help wake you up in the morning, or to get a Fitbit. Like, that's what I use. It has a silent alarm to wake me up. If you're moved out and you're kind of worried about hearing the fire alarm, thing like that, there are also alarms that exist that have shakers in them, so then they detect the fire alarm. So when the fire alarm goes off, it'll also shake the bed. So then there's many different types of technology kind of aid for safety as well once you've kind of moved out of res and into a different home. I didn't use those specifically. I kind of have that more for that because I found that the shaking alarm would wake up my roommates and they don't really like that as much. I don't really blame them. So the Fitbit was the one that the technology I used to wake me up the most. But yeah, thank you very much, and I hope this video helps for types of technology that you can use in university. Thank you!